You probably offended him.
Did I really? I could hear
He's,
Austen, but coming broken as fuck. Are you coming back?
um,
You have to admit that, like, sometimes doing podcasts with people is like doing podcasts with a girlfriend. Like, people are
I know,
very easily offended.
I know, I know.
Dude, two things I want to talk about right now. One, let's just talk about your morning routine these days because I'm really excited. I've got mine finally back. I want to hear from the great Austen Alexander what your morning routine is.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live. People want to
Okay,
know.
cool. My morning routine is I wake up 5:30 or 6 today. I woke up at 6. I immediately go downstairs. I drink 16 ounces of water, and I take my serving of Shilajit, which you put me on. I love. It
You
makes me
like
feel
it.
incredible. I love
Shout
it.
out. You still using Hobie's company?
I still use it. U.S. Shilajit.
Yeah, US Shilajit, guys. We got to give a shout out to Hobie. I really think that is an astounding product. Just go to usshilajit.com. Shout out to Hobie.
I had never even used it. I hadn't even heard of it before until you're like, dude, take this stuff. It's like a tar. It's like it was like the color and the taste of like tar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So I bought a bottle. I started taking it, and I started taking it in February. And like since February, I feel like my libido, sexual function, energy throughout the day, my sleep,
Let's just
my
be
mind,
awesome.
my mindset has been.
We
I
had to put Austin in a different bedroom in Catalina because his libido was so high.
yeah. Um, by the
But
way, we went to Catalina with Hunter and Matt. So, or I went
yeah,
to Catalina with Hunter and Matt. Yeah.
well, yeah,
Um,
but he tried to turn Matt into something else, and that's not it's not necessarily for the show, guys.
yeah.
So
Anyways, morning routine.
yeah,
After I take the Sheila, I will brew some coffee like I have now, and I will go outside. I'll get some sunlight, and I'll get some activity. I'll walk to the park. I collect my thoughts. I just kind of let my thoughts float, and the most important things that I need to get done come to the surface. When I get back to the office, I write everything down, and then I'll start hammering away.
would you say that how often do you touch your phone in the morning?
I check it once upon waking to deal with anything that happened overnight. Like, oh shit, the other day one of our editors had a tornado, and like he all of his internet was down. So I check it to make sure there's nothing pending overnight. I set it down. I go downstairs. I start the walk. I carry it with me. I check in with the morning report. I document my sleep. I document, how I'm feeling, everything on Instagram story, and then I'll put it away. I'll come into the house, and then I set it down, and I have it in personal all day. Personal notifications on, which means it blocks out anybody that I don't know, and then I will get to work. So probably 2, 3 times.
Wow, it's impressive. I'm trying to get better about that. Like, my morning routine now that I'm actually back in the United States is kind of banging on with yours. Like, I wake up in the morning, water first. It's what I call the hoo-hoo special. I take a scoop of hydro, and I take a scoop of hydro, and I take a scoop of AG1, and I
Hmm.
mix it up in there, and I just take that thing down because most of the day you're not going to catch me eating greens because I'm busy.
Yeah.
I've got a professional career to, to focus on. I've been focusing on trying to get my sleep numbers up. Like, we were competing the other day with our sleep numbers, and you have to admit, I crushed your sleep numbers.
Oh yeah. I don't take naps during the day. I hate it unless I'm really tanked.
But naps are powerful. Naps are very, very powerful.
Yeah,
And being your own boss, you don't ever think about just disconnecting and getting a nap in there.
I do, but like I have a struggle with balance. Like I even thought about throwing away my couch because it tempts me to go nap on it. I know it's not healthy.
Yeah, maybe that's a sign, dude. Maybe that's a sign. So, guys, anybody who's in here who doesn't know who Austin is, I'm going to try to give him the best elevator pitch that I can. Austin is probably one of the most well-known, if not the most well-known content creator in the space, YouTube space, and all social media spaces when it comes to functional fitness, tactical fitness, military lifestyle. Some of it's a little bit cheesy, like let's all battle for a girl kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
love to tease him for that. But admittedly, that's kind of what the community wants. Like people love to have that extra ordinary kind of stuff in there. But Austen has gone through the U.S. Navy. I think he was one of the guys. He used to scrub the poop deck on the USS. What was it called?
Carl Vinson.
Carl Vincent. And he then moved on into exclusively being a content creator. And he and I became business partners. We became friends in 2020. And I guess we really started a relationship around there. And we had our first ever Battle Bunker event in 2022.
Mhm.
And now this will be our third event, the Hybricon games. And you can expect to be seeing people from all over the world coming to what we're really excited to announce this year's our third event, which is going to be on Catalina Island. And today we wanted to basically sit down with the founder and the race director, and we're supposed to sit down with the head judge, but I think he's missing somewhere, and really break down the event, the meaning of it, the purpose of it, the goal, the outcomes, the athletes that are coming, how to prepare for it. If you guys have any questions, I have some loaded ones here, but I can already see people like Dylan are here. Is that Dylan Maragula?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So congrats on having a kid, dude. Heard about that. I think he had twins, which is sick.
Oh, dude, congrats.
Yeah, and he's a twin, which is crazy. But basically, we want to break everything down, and we're gonna shoot the shit and just have some fun. Like obviously, we're just talking about our morning routines, but in reality, we're just gonna keep on working our way through this thing. And you guys just ask as many questions as you want. We're going to try to fill you guys in. There's going to be a little bit of mystery to it, but at the same time, we're going to make sure that at the end of this conversation, there's no questions whatsoever about what you guys are going to go through as far as just a broad understanding of how to compete. And then from there, you guys just start training your asses off because you're less than 8 weeks away at this point. Feel good about that, Austin?
Yeah, I feel really good.
Mm.
Any special movements we would need to practice to prepare for the events?
So we're going to get into the weeds on this, but I guess there's nothing in here that's extreme that you guys haven't seen before, especially somebody like Dylan who's set world records and done a lot of events and obstacle racing, CrossFit, functional fitness, Go Ruck games. Nothing you haven't seen before. In reality, we don't use Olympic lifting. We don't use high capacity, like, a very extreme, what is it called? Gymnastics. Like that's not our game. That's not our bag. It's too specialized. And what we really want to do is keep things raw, rough, and intense.
Gritty.
And that's, yeah, gritty. Like that's the way that we define athletes. Like in reality, push-ups to us are just as important as handstand push-ups. So why try to turn you upside down where we can find out your push capacity on your chest, where 99.9% of the time you're always going to be pushing from chest up, never chest, head up. So that would be an example. Chest to bar pull-ups, that's something that doesn't really make a ton of sense at a high capacity movement because in real life, it's almost never going to happen. You're never going to be doing butterfly kipping to get over something or pull yourself up to something. Is there anything wrong with butterfly pull-ups? No, but it's more so unique to the CrossFit community that we don't need to test it. You're already going to find that there.
I always tell people like we don't do handstand walk because you're not going to handstand your walk out of a fire or like out of a burning building. Yeah. And every time I say that, people are like, "Ooh." I'm like, "What? It's true." They're like, "Yeah, you're right."
So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could if you really needed to. But, and yeah, I always said, when I got knocked out of the CrossFit games, I was like, real athletes walk on their feet, not their hands. But whatever. Whatever, guys. I don't want to talk shit.
Yeah.
So let's just break down the days, first of all. Let's actually break down the island. So first of all, Austin, you can fill this in, but I want everyone to know we've competed for the past 2 years at the Olympic Training Center, the Elite Training Center in Chula Vista, California. World-class experience. You guys get to fly from all over the world, come down to San Diego, go inland into this beautiful athlete campus where you've got housing, meals, every single thing, and one of the most exciting venues you could ever imagine. Mm-hmm. We thought to ourselves, that's awesome, but that's kind of more of like a club med experience. We want something that's a little more rustic. So we sat down with the team. We chose Catalina. Austen was pretty much the person who inspired this idea. So I'm going to let you kind of take the mic here for a second, explain some of your purpose behind it, how you found it, why you decided that part of the island, and let you kind of run with it.
Yeah, so Catalina intrigued me a lot. You hear Catalina wine mixer, blah blah blah, and when I finally went over there for the first time, I was like, dang, this island is beautiful. I really only
Hi.
saw I really only saw the city of Avalon, and then in February, March, I decided to run my first marathon over there. And when I got there, we pulled into Avalon, and then we stayed in Avalon for a night, and then we went over to Harbors. I saw the scenery, I saw the beautiful
Working.
views of the island, and we got to Two Harbors. We marched through the city of Two Harbors, and we start way back. And as I ran up through Catalina, I was like, dang, dude, this island is unmatched. I said, I would love to have the Hybricon games here this year. If they're running a marathon, like, we can have a competition here. And I told Hunter about it. He's like, yeah, cool, dude. I've ran 30 marathons. Like, cool story. And I'm like, no, but we could potentially have the Hybricon games here this year. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then when our relationship ended with the training center, I said, this is the perfect time. And so we started pushing for more information and chatting with people from Catalina.
Let's be honest. I was excited about it, but the capacity of extra work that went into getting all of the
Yeah.
details aligned with that island compared to the Olympic Training Center. By the way, anybody who's coming to this thing, you should count yourself lucky. It is significantly more complicated because the transportation, equipment, where we're sleeping, how we're sleeping, how you guys are going to get back and forth, and all the equipment being transferred around the island. Just to give you guys a heads up, there's no cars over there. So it's a level of magnitude of complication that is probably 5x. Because just to give you guys an example, we're sitting down, we're about to start an event. Hey guys, I need tape. Hey, call Braxton, get Braxton in the car, get him to go down to Home Depot real quick, get 5 rolls of tape. None of that stuff's happening here. Everything that needs to be done is isolated to this island. So from somebody who's an organization standpoint, it was definitely a higher level, but from an excitement standpoint, from the beauty, the grits, the dynamics of it all, the story behind it, it's 10 out of 10. There's nothing cooler than this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I knew there was going to be some extra work, but I was like, if we can make this happen, like, we can make anything happen. And we're doing it.
Wad Zombie's here, and he just wants you to know that you're so attractive that it's tough to be around you.
Is that why he's never met up with me before? I know he's in SoCal. I've been hitting him up to, hey, let's hang out or work out or something like that, but he never responds.
I just got to shoot you straight, dude. The longer I get into the social media game and things like live streaming, you start to recognize that I don't know if incel is the right word, but these people are like, they're these people that exist in caves, and they feel all the comfort behind the keyboard, but they'll never meet you in real life. And probably there are so many of these people that are on our pages consistently that will talk and comment and everything, and then they meet you in real life, but they'll never say a word.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just an interesting thing. Like, I've been talking to Wad Zombie for years. I have no clue who he is. No clue.
Really?
No clue. I have no clue who he is. I don't know if it's a dude, a chick, whatever. Like, I don't care, but in reality, like, I have no clue. And you build relationships with these people because they show up to your show, they comment, they send gifts, weird stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, Catalina is probably one of the most unique and beautiful pieces in Southern California. I think it's like the best kept secret for everybody in Southern California. I don't know why nobody goes out there, but for anybody who's in Southern California, I think you guys should make the trip. And if it's possible, we are going to make sure that there's space on the boats that we're transporting for a select amount of people that are going to come over and watch. You guys can get on the transport boats and you guys can stay in the campgrounds with us. But it's going to be a world-class experience. It's basically going to be like camping for professional athletes and the community to come watch. Do you want to describe, by the way, some of the experience of what it's going to be like staying there? I think that's really important.
Yeah, so we have a campground with tent spaces and prefixed tents, and it's right next to the ocean. So you're always getting a cool ocean breeze in October. It'll be a little brisky there, but during the daytime it'll be the perfect weather. And everything feels so secluded, but it's not like you're out in the wilderness. There's a store 5-minute walk down the road. There's a restaurant 5 minute down the road. Was I supposed to say that?
What's that? No,
I
no, no,
mean,
no. I think you can share anything.
yeah, I mean, in reality, it's not. A lot of the athletes didn't sign up and were worried because they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be on a 3-day excursion without food and water." I'm like, "No." Like, first of all, for insurance purposes, we couldn't do that. That Two Harbors is a city, and everything is pretty much within like a 5 to 10 minute walk. I mean, we walked the entire city in 10 minutes. So the campground is right beside a store. It's set up for camping. That's going to be base camp. Probably won't be there, but from the time you go to sleep to the morning time, and then we'll have you guys out competing in different parts of the city. But it's a it's a little town, a little community, and most of all, like the photos and the videos are going to be beautiful just because of the island landscape there.
Well, here's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to bring this up and we're going to share this. Okay. Boom. Boom. Present screen. Share screen. Boom. Entire screen. Let's go here. So, guys, just to give you a heads up. Oh, shit. It's gone. Images. This right here is Two Harbors. Can you see my mouse, by the way, dude?
Yeah.
So over here to the left is where the campgrounds are. They're past basically the scenery. I mean, this is maybe a little bit of a better one. You guys are going to be here on the water. And like I'm telling you right now, like you can throw a stone into the ocean and it's crystal clear, beautiful. Basically, you're going to be set up on like the umpteenth degree of beauty and excitement, campfires. Like it doesn't get any better than this. The walk from here all the way over to the main entryway is less than 5 minutes. If you're slow, you're probably going to have trouble competing if you can't do it in 5 minutes. But, let's say it's 6. And inside of here, there's a full-blown restaurant with a bar if you guys are looking to get a little sauce. I love buffalo milk. Over here where you're seeing like 4 through 10 and stuff like that, or is that 16? You guys are looking at a restaurant, like a general store. You can get whatever you guys want there. I'll admit it's a little bit more of a premium price, but that's whatever. You guys are going to be competing on this beachway right here. We've rented out an entire section for you guys to compete on. And you guys will be, basically using this entire space. I'm circling it without being too specific. And I'll ask Austen if he's cool with me sharing more details. But that is basically your life for 3 days. And, if you can imagine, it's really meant to absorb the experience of being on an island in almost like a special forces kind of test. And I'm really, really excited about what it's going to look like when you guys end up getting in.
Damn, we have all kinds of comments. I didn't even see these comments.
Where the hell? How do I stop sharing? Oh, stop screen. Okay, there you go. Yeah. People come in and say a bunch of stuff. But I mean, it's one of these kind of things where it's very unique, and that's pretty much, I believe, is the most exciting X factor of this competition. Because of the elements and where you guys are at, it's going to make it much more dynamic and challenging than the year before. And if you're cool with it, Austen, I'm going to start breaking down each day and what people can expect. And how much are you cool with me sharing?
I go by your lead. Like, I'm okay with sharing whatever.
Okay. So I think the most important thing that we really want to, what we want to introduce right now is we've changed things up a little bit because of the length of the competition. and how dynamic it is, meaning that you are going to be competing for 3 days straight. We have kept the cash prizes as high as they are, which is $30,000 being distributed throughout the weekend. But we've changed the way that it's going to be presented to you guys and what we call,
Hunter,
what's that?
give me 30 seconds. I'm going to go grab my brown book before you talk about this.
Geez. All right, guys, let's just talk about Hunter stuff because Austin's abandoned me once again. Hunter is only 1 week away from starting his training again, guys. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm so yoked that I had to switch into triple XL outfits. I'm wearing my Puma jumpsuit because I am going to become the next breakdancer at the Olympics after that tragedy that that woman brought up. I think they actually banned breakdancing from the Olympics because that woman was so bad. But Big Hoont, bringing it back, dude, dropping it low. I'm just letting you guys know right now, I'm peaked and geeked for this thing. I started out this morning, and I'm so ready to train again. But I've been told by my coaches that I need to take off 1 more week because we are going to start with the best base possible. And Sam Oliver, nobody lives at the ranch with me, and quit trying to get into my private life. And holy shit, the lighting is gay, and I'm here for it. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much. Aisha, always like seeing you. Adam Redman, he's going to be the head of medical and head of health performance.
Is he here?
Over there? Yeah, he's right there in the comments.
Sweet. Adam, we got 4 or 5 Green Berets that are coming over off of from Coronado that will be part of the volunteer and safety crew. They're DMTs. You probably know a lot of them, Adam, but I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll loop you in. We're developing the rest of the volunteer list today and tomorrow. All right, Hunter, go ahead about the cash prize. This is important.
Okay. So this is really important. We decided to change the structure because we want to make sure that things stay as competitive as possible throughout the entirety of the weekend. What ends up happening, and I've been doing this for such a long time, I picked up on it over and over and over again. Like a great example is the Spartan games. After day 1, people recognize that the points are so skewed against them. The specialists basically stop. They stop competing at a high level and kind of get into what we call like a floating zone. And what we want is athletes to come from all over the world and be able to shine at their best. So I've introduced what I call is the fight for your food policy. And that means that every single event will have a $500 prize for male and female. So what that means is basically you could be dead last at the entire weekend's event, but you can walk away with a guaranteed $500 if you win an event. There are definitely some athletes out there that have incredible capacity, and they will just have, if they just have one wrong slip up, they're out of point contention. And somebody like Jake the Snake last year, he was winning almost the entire weekend. And then near the end of the event, after an ankle roll, he was unable to really put out high capacity, and he lost the event. And then Phil Muscarella ended up winning the whole thing. And now Phil's an incredible athlete, but would things have been a little bit different if he hadn't got hurt? I don't know. Can't say. But what I can say is he would have definitely walked away with some food. And from there, I also want to see some of these guys stretch it out a little bit harder. Now, if you go your absolute balls to the wall, you can make more money than you did last year. But it means you got to work really, really hard. There is still going to be an overall champion prize, but understand that every single workout is going to have a cash prize on top of it. No matter how long, no matter how short, no matter how heavy, whatever it is, you can expect if you're the highest performer that you're going to get paid out for it. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I think this is the best way to keep intensity high throughout the entire weekend, especially on that 50th plus hour. People start to really kind of fade back. But if you find something that's really, really something that you can excel in, you may just save your poker chips up to make sure you get a little bit of that cash. Austen, another really great athlete who just stepped in here. I know that he had some really dominant finishes last year. He's somebody that would 100% really succeeded well with this clause. And I think the fight for your food is going to be something that makes the competition far more exciting for the spectators and the competitors. And what I really, really want to do is make sure that by the end of the weekend, everyone feels like they had a chance to show their strengths and also be rewarded for them. And as an athlete and now a director, I think it's the best way to go. So if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to dump them in the comments or contact the team about it. But it's called the Fight for Your Food policy. Make sure you guys bring a bag, because actually on one of the workouts, we will be dumping hard cash into your hands.
100%. Yeah, I realized I was like, hey, we're giving away 20K, 30K. I was like, let's do this because let's pump some cash into the fitness community to make people train hard. And the goal like would be for me, I would feel complete about this is if someone could compete in Hybricon full time, including their sponsorships, including their cash prizes, included, cash prizes here and there for local Hybricon affiliated events or whatever. So the cash prize was an initial way for us to do this. And seeing that like the larger cash prizes didn't really stimulate the like super excitement about the event. People just were excited to compete in the event. High level athletes, athletes who haven't competed at a higher level for a long time. And so that's why we're making the decision to spread out the cash a lot more. Did you mention the final payout cash prize structure for the first, second, and third, male and female?
I left it just a little bit open-ended
Hey.
because there's still a little bit of we may add a couple workouts that will change things, but it's the overall cash prize is still the same amount of money. It
Okay.
just will be broken up based on how many workouts we have. We're still adding a couple pieces.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to share some things with you guys. I'm not going to make it so obvious, but I need you guys to know that it's $30,000 split between all athletes based off of the this is from Stanley. And basically what that means is that based on the amount of workouts we have, it's $500 for each win. Day one, just to give you guys an example, there's 3 workouts. So if you won all 3 of them, you win $1,500. Austen, just to let you know, there is no obstacle course. We're not building an obstacle course on Catalina. And, Austen, just because you stop training on obstacle courses after you're 5 years old doesn't mean that we are proud of you. You should stay focused on the game, dude. We never quit. We never quit, bro. See those jerseys behind me? Those are championship jerseys. So let's just give you guys an example. I'm going to let you guys in on something right now. Grit Day is what we consider to be our high capacity endurance day. And it's meant to be dynamic. It's meant to be challenging. It's meant to be long enough that it really is able to highlight great endurance athletes. And it's meant to be dynamic enough that it's able to highlight non-specialists, meaning that, let's say we have a marathon runner show up. Clearly that marathon runner is going to dominate the run. A couple of years ago at the Spartan Games, was racing against a girl. I can't remember her name. She was a Hoka-sponsored athlete. I think she was a top 5 best marathoners in the world at the time. And she crushed me on the run. She did. I'm world class, but she came nowhere near the top when it came to the point standings. She would have won that $500 bonus prize, but the event wasn't dynamic enough to really test her. So we're going to make sure that's in there. I'm going to show you guys real quick what that looks like. I'm going to give you guys event 1, and it's just going to bring you guys in on a little bit of what it's going to look like to compete. And, I'm going to drop some crumbs so you guys know how to prepare for this. Okay, so I'm going to open up this picture. Oh, nice. That's not what I wanted. Okay, can you see the screen, Austen?
Yep.
So right here, there is a dirt bowl. This is going to be your check-in area. And event 1 and event 2 are part of the same workout. And what that means is that there's going to be a part 1 of the workout and a part 2 of the workout. It's an endurance run. Now, what is an endurance run? Well, typically track and field is anywhere from 100 meters all the way up to 10K. You're definitely going to be running longer than 10K. You're not going to be running as long as a marathon. Last year, we did a 10-mile run around a lake. Now we're going to take you guys up and over a mountain. So what's going to happen is you guys are following out where my finger is. You're going to go to the very, very top of this mountain right here. Then you are going to follow the skyline and the ridge, and you're going to drop back down all the way into town, back to the circle, and you're going to do multiple laps. Now, I'm not going to fill you guys in on how much distance that is, but understand that if you're an athlete and you're not doing trail running, you're in trouble. If you guys are not in trail running shape, you're in trouble. And I'm just giving you guys a hint. Start running on trails and start getting in shape. You have enough time right now, about 8 weeks, to polish this up. I know somebody like Austen, who's definitely a power athlete and was a little bit shook by the run last year. This should be something that you're fully aware of and need to be prepared for. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, the part 1 of that workout is going to be a sprint to the top of this mountain. So from here to here and then up, there is going to be a $500 cash prize to the first 2 athletes, male and female. Are you all right, Austen?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear some weird noises. And there's going to be a cash prize for that. And then you're going to continue running. But what that looks like, guys, is it's giving you the opportunity to not only find a really epic endurance athlete, but basically find somebody who's really willing to hustle to get to the top of that mountain and get that extra cash prize. So that right there is event 1 and event 2 combined. Any questions around that? Austen, you're going to have to run with these people for 2 seconds. I've had too much coffee.
Yeah.
See you in a second.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter has crazy bowel movements. What's lodging look like this year? So originally, when we booked the campground, the campground is called Brisa del Mar. You can look it up on Two Harbors. It's Brisa del Mar, MAR. And then we realized that they had pre-set up tents. So you guys will be staying in pre-set up like canopies that keep the elements out. There's no AC, there's no power. So that's what lodging is. As far as water or food, we will have it delivered to the campsite for breakfast and for dinner. For lunch, we will be doing something quick from the store, or we will have potentially meal prep service deliver us food, like 800 to 900 meal preps for you guys. That's lodging. You're going to be out in the elements. You're going to sleep well. You're going to bring a sleeping bag or covers and a pillow, and you're going to sleep well because you'll be out in nature. There will probably be a few other people camping on the campground, like farther down from us, but that's the way lodging is set up. Hopefully I answered that question well.
Sounds romantical.
How much is the elevation gain? Should we tell them the elevation gain? Because
it'll be a lot, not a little, not too much.
Just understand that you're ascending and descending, so the elevation gain will be equal to the elevation loss.
Yeah. I mean, listen, dude, if you really want to, you should just go on Google Maps and look at some of these waypoints. That's probably the smartest thing I would do, a little bit of research. But we gave you guys a hint. So also another thing that we really got to encounter, I know that this is a little bit of a challenging subject because of some things that just happened recently, but we are going to continue this event the way that we designed it from the start, regardless of some things that have happened in recent history. There is going to be swimming at this event. You're going to be swimming multiple times, multiple days. Last year, we had a pool event. This year, you're going to be in open water. We have safety measures across the board, much like we did last year with 100% safety. We are going to have 100% safety here. The protocols that we're following are to the highest degree. We have professionals across the board that have been in this industry for many, many years. I myself am going to be focusing on the flow of traffic and the continuation of information for athletes. Austen's going to be focusing on media and basically just overall relations with the athletes and understanding of how the weekend's going. And then we have an entire professional team underneath us that has designed the safest level of basically the safest level of opportunity for you guys to compete. Know this, it's not all the information is going to come out on this podcast because I want you guys to have it in detailed form. But what you guys can understand is that there are going to be multiple safety measures across the board for you guys to participate at the highest level. What that means is if there is going to be floaties, life vests, whatever level that you guys feel is necessary for you to be safe, you're able to take those measures. And beyond that, it's our job as a team to make sure that even after taking all those measures, we continue to support you guys. Is anything that's going to be done here at such a high level that you guys are not going to be able to survive it because it's so challenging? No. This is far below the means of like our levels of athletes preparation for this. It's still something we want to test. We are on an island. We specifically designed it to be on an island to test this level of dynamic endurance and understand that you guys need to start training your swimming. Everybody was in the water last year and everyone's going to be in the water again this year. If you guys decide to opt out of a workout, you definitely can. Like, you guys can drop out of a workout. What does that mean? You just won't get points. What does that ultimately mean? You guys will not get the opportunity to obviously be a champion. It will be harder to overcome some of those points later on if you guys are really ultimately reaching to be the highest level at this competition. Thoughts about that, Austen?
No, that's 100% correct. I mean, we had Isaiah Vidal that had an incredible score through the weekend. And the one event, the bob test, took him down a bit. He still placed high. I believe it was fourth. But we're going to have – can we talk about the number of events?
We can. I'm just going to test out Matt because his service is once again so bad that I'm going to kick him out. How you doing, Matt? And he failed. Okay.
Sorry, Matt. Love you.
Yeah. Once again, guys, if you try to come on this show with terrible service and you're in a car on the side of the road, you will get fired. Do you want to talk about the amount of events on day one?
Sure.
I mean, guys, it's 3 events on day one: land, running, and swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Any water confidence events? Yes, Caleb, there will be on day 3, which is what's going to be called field day. They're going to be. This is a much more dynamic day. The idea of field day is we're testing absolute strength, endurance, and dynamic strength. The idea is that most events in the world are either endurance or field-based. And what defines field-based? You're looking at events like soccer, wrestling, track and field, things that are sports that are really measurable, repeatable, and definable by your capacity and strength and proficiency. So what we are looking for with athletes is this ability to be dynamic. If a power lifter showed up, they may crush this one section, but are they dynamic enough to be the champion of field day? What that looks like, guys, is we're going to be having events that are traditional functional fitness CrossFit style events because that's strength endurance. Absolute strength would be the idea. Like, I'm just going to let you guys know that you will be deadlifting again. We had it in the qualifier test. We want to see athletes that have made progress. And it's super important to understand that progress is a super important thing to define and measure in your guys' competition. We want to see where athletes have come in the past 6 months competing and training for these kind of events. Dynamic, what that means, guys, is it's going to be testing your body's ability to, not necessarily in the most polished and perfect way of holding a bar, to be able to transfer strength into an object or against a person. What you guys saw last year was, the drag test and also the pugil stick fights. So that stuff's super, super important to us. Now, you're going to be tested all day long. There's a humongous opportunity in field day to make a lot of cash. What that means, guys, is there's going to be all different kinds of elements. One of my favorite ones is going to be what we call flag racing. And this right here, guys, is a competition that is incredible for testing your body's ability to sprint and also be athletic and dominate a field. If you guys want to look it up, go look at flag racing in, the hell is it called? Lifeguard games. It's ultimately going to be savage. There may be blood on the field. Let's just say that. And I want to see athletes, like, if you think about it, If you're in the blocks and you're perfectly positioned, you may get off because you have the skill better than other people from starting from the blocks to do a 100-meter sprint. But taking this level of dynamic power and prowess on the field and putting it on the sand and having you guys compete for flags is what I consider to be a truly, truly dynamic and proficient athlete. And as I said, being that we're on this unique position of being on an island, we are going to bring in the elements that are presented at the island, being sand, the beach, and a really, really exciting platform for you guys to show who is the best on the day. Austen, ideas, thoughts?
No, 100%. I mean, we should mention you'll be getting wet every day. We're not saying that every single day is a swim. They could be water competence. They could be, different types of fun events that we have planned, but you'll be getting wet every day. So make sure that you're confident in the water. And obviously we will have safeties there. But I think the water confidence is an important part to mention.
Yeah. Hey, Mitchell, you can bring a wetsuit. Are we saying it's the most important piece of this? No. Is it going to be 100% necessary? Probably not. But we want athletes to feel safe and accommodated. So it's up to you guys. We are going to put everything on the list that's coming out to you guys soon. And it's important that you guys understand that, every detail that's in there will be outlined for what you can and cannot bring. But to button up field day for you guys, understand that it is going to be 7 a.m. basically until 7 p.m. There's that many contests in that day. Some of them are split seconds. So it's not going to be this thing that absolutely drains your energy, but you're going to need to be peaked and prepared for events throughout the entirety of the day. And what it's going to find is this really well-rounded field-based athlete. And, we want athletes to be as prepared as possible. So make sure that you guys are training your absolute strength. Heavy shit. Make sure that you guys are training your strength endurance, functional fitness, CrossFit, high rock style training. And lastly, guys, make sure you're training your dynamic strength. Understand that doing dumbbell curls isn't going to cut it. Maybe start throwing in some strongman stuff. Maybe start throwing in some odd, just odd position stuff. It's going to prepare you ultimately to be the best on the day. You feel good about field day, dude?
Yeah, I feel great about it.
Okay.
I feel the best about field day.
Dude, I'm so excited about field day. For me, guys, personally, I'm going to be sitting back with my megaphone, and I'm probably going to have the shortest pair of shorts on that are possibly legal. And I'm going to be putting on baby oil so that I make sure that I have a glistening tan. And I'm going to watch you guys go to war. This day's for us. I mean, we get to watch you guys. Imagine going to a stadium. We created the stadium and we watch you guys go to war. Mm-hmm. I'm so jealous that you guys are getting to do these events because ultimately they are the things that I would find out, I believe, to be the ultimate definers of somebody who is a crazy, crazy freak athlete. The last day is what we call Survivor Day. We added this in because we believe that there is this element outside of what you'll find in the field or find in endurance that is needing to be tested more often. I believe that it's this X factor that I ultimately think makes a superhuman, because when everything is perfectly put out in front of you and there's lines and there's air conditioning and there's all these, soft things that you guys can really think is going to keep you safe, we want to mix that up a little bit. Now, safe meaning you're not going to die, but at the same time, we want to find something that's underneath you at your core and twist that a little bit. Last year, just to give you an example, you brought up the Isaiah Vidal thing. We put in a little bit of an element of this with what we call the bob test, where we tied your guys' hands behind your back and you had to bob up and down in the water for, 2 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. In reality, was it this thing that ultimately was the most dangerous thing in the world? No, but did it all of a sudden bring in that fear factor a little bit because it was something you guys probably hadn't done before? Yes. And did it really change up the field? Entirely. We are going to make sure that you guys are fully prepared for this day with the information that we release. you guys 100% can thrive across the board as you did the first 2 days, but you're going to have that X factor. And when it comes down to, fight for your food, some athletes that we didn't expect are probably going to rise to the occasion and be excellent at these kind of things. And I'm really excited to find out who that is. But there are levels to this day that we're not going to share right now that are really, really broad, really interesting, really, really unique to find out how well you are at solving problems under duress. And ultimately we want to make sure that it's the most exciting and awesome weekend for you guys. So nothing is so random that you can't enjoy yourself, that this is going to be the day that you flop. But if you're not prepared, it's going to show. And I'll make sure that Austen has this in the release package so that you guys are prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about should we talk about nightlife at Two Harbors? I know you already mentioned the bar they have there.
I don't know if there's going to be much of a nightlife, man. Like, I believe that there's athletes are going to be so exhausted that you're going to see probably about 70 to 80% of them drop out. And then there's going to be the weirdos, probably like Caleb, that's up all night. But there's fire pits and it's going to be cold. It's in October. So sitting around a fire pit, having a good time. Awesome. The bar is going to be lit. Like, that little bar in there, there's a pool table, there's some pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to get wild and out of control. Like, Alex is going to be running that pool table and hustling people for cash.
Let's talk about hours of competition on each day. So how many hours can we expect to be competing on Grit Day?
Grit Day, because of some of the elements that we will disclose later, will likely have a little bit of a later starting time. And you will likely be competing. I'm just going to give you guys a window. You guys maybe start at 8. You guys maybe start at 10. And then from there, you guys are going to be going and doing first events until then. You'll be done probably around 4 or 5 p.m. in the afternoon, anywhere between 3 and 5 p.m. in the afternoon, depending on whether you start at 8 or 10. And there's obviously going to be breaks between. Enough rest so you guys are prepared, but not enough for you guys to go out and just like take naps and be lazy with your time. Like, this is a contest. There's not going to be a ton of downtime. Field day is probably going to be starting around 7 or 8 a.m. And basically as soon as the sun cracks those hills, and you guys will be likely moving until about 5 p.m. And you guys will have breakdowns for lunch and breaks in between workouts, but it's going to be the fullest of all days. And then lastly, Survivor Day is going to be the shortest of all days, just because of the elements of transportation. But understand, as soon as that sun cracks over the hill, you guys are game on, and you guys will probably be done early afternoon in that one, 2 to 3.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see. Any other questions that we have in here?
We had questions about wetsuits. Caleb's talking about the Catalina wine mixer. It's been a quiet crowd today. I don't know if it's because they're just like sitting there with pen and paper, but sometimes we have well over 100 people in here and they're talking a ton of shit. But I think most of the people that are here right now are probably competitors that are trying to gain a lot of information, and they're not talking that much shit. But yeah, guys, we're about to shut this thing down in about 5 minutes. If you have any questions, it's probably best to address it right now. If you guys are one of the athletes, get it out in the notes. We'll answer it live for you guys. And otherwise, it's going to be coming out on an email next week. But beyond that, I don't know, man. I'm super freaking pumped.
Yeah,
I'm going to Catalina a couple more times this week. This month coming up. And like, I'm really just making sure that everything is polished. I'm making sure that I know every inch of that island. I'm making sure that I taste the water. I feel the wind. Like I'm gonna go out there, guys, and I'm gonna be testing. I've tested all the workouts you guys are doing, and trust me, you're lucky I'm not showing up.
Yeah,
But
there we did some we tested the water events when we were there last week, and one of the events I absolutely love. I love to get dry, wet, dry, wet. I love dry, wet workouts, and we have a really, really nice dry, wet workout um, on field day that I'm excited for you guys to go through.
shit, man, there was something I was gonna say. Oh, judges. One of the judges asked if there's something that the judges get to compete in. There is going to be 2 workouts that judges can step in on and test. One of them very specifically. And if you guys want to get in because of basically the flow of traffic and we want to have a good time, yeah, we may step in. I'm going to give it out there to any of the staff if they want to come in and try to be a little bit fit and tough. But yeah, one of the judges asked if there's going to be special events that judges get to compete in. It'll be on field day.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many events on field day. Like, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a little hectic, but it's going to be fun for everybody.
Yeah, that was from Josh Marco. W. Belskiv. This is a dude. He wants to know why I'm so sexy. Guys, got to ask my parents about that one. Jake Gibbs wants to know how many times Cole Schwartz is planning on crying.
That's a question for you, Hunter.
You know, at this point, I've spent enough time with Cole that I've seen him in the worst situations. He's never cried. I don't think we're going to get it out of him this time. Aston, there are no machines. This is as rustic as it gets. Any prizes for best mustache? I personally will be awarding prizes for the best mustache. And I personally may show up with a dynamic hairstyle that is going to be dominant and strong. Caleb Yates, should we bring extra food from the mainland and will there be places to purchase food? You can bring whatever you want. Like whatever you guys can carry. You know, obviously don't be bringing like crates of food. It's going to be too much for the boat, but I think you guys should bring whatever makes you feel comfortable. And then there are dining halls and there's a grocery store, limited grocery store, obviously, because it's a little island, but it's definitely got stuff that's going to make you happy. Beef jerky, candy, booze.
Water.
Yeah, water. Dude, be careful. The water is expensive there. It is expensive.
It is.
Yeah, bring a water filter. Drink out of the sea. We got about 90 seconds and I got to bounce, guys. But do you feel pretty confident in everything you've shared today, Austen?
I feel great. I feel great about it. Yeah. I mean, we're working on volunteering, judging, finalizing the list today, and then we will be releasing. We're releasing all the events, correct? September.
90% of them.
90% of the events, September 2nd. The week of September 2nd.
I just want to give a shout out, guys. We're ending this thing. I want to thank my team at Builder Sports for always putting together such an awesome company. We're supporting more athletes around the world than we ever have before. It's awesome. We've even switched over to black containers for Strength X2 if you want to get huge this season. We have a sale coming up September 2nd, back to school sale. I know Claire doesn't like me saying that, but it is a back to school sale in my heart. And you guys know what's coming up. The Black Friday video content is starting to be filmed now. I just got a whole knight in shining armor outfit. Also, guys, I want you guys to know that on September 2nd, we're having releases of all of our new cycles for house training. Base Builder, you guys got to work on your endurance if you want to have really, really big scores this season in High Rocks. Know that it's more competitive than ever, so you have to start putting the work in now if you guys want to qualify for World Championships. Also, Hill Runner, which is another awesome cycle if you guys need to specifically work on your running. And last but not least, our new program called Hybrid Performance Training. That's going to be really, really exciting if you guys want to work on your strength capacity. So all of that stuff's coming out soon. Just check us out, huntermcentire.com, housetraining.com, Builder Sports or builderinternational.com. And that's it, guys. Awesome day. Austen?
One question from I believe Jessica Brown, the hybrid wild child. I'm bringing a spouse. What about their food? There is a restaurant that operates for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. that they will be able to get food from. Additionally, I'm working on a +1 package, which allows them to stay in the campground with us. Obviously, it pays for their tent, it pays for their food, and uh, their transportation. So, yeah, that's coming out for sure. I mean, they will have their food. They will have access to the same amenities that you have access to. I'm working out on rolling out your +1 or your person that you're bringing for spectator packages, but they will be limited just because we have limited campground space.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right, boys and girls, I'm over and out. Austin, it's
All
good
right,
seeing
cool.
you, bro.
Good to
Matt,
see you too.
all right, later, brother.
All right, bye.